Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been any place else in the world, and you chose to spend this hour with me. I really do appreciate it. Yes, without fear or favor, feast or famine, um, cookies or creams, um, ups or downs. You get the point. All right, I'm bringing up the slides. I was stalling for the slides. Okay, let's see who was here first. Judy Matassit, thank you so much for being first. All right. Okay, and I'll just say hi to everyone else as we go along. Um, this is so cute. I just made this thumbnail. Um, Coast to coast. That's what we're gonna have. Coast to coast Sussex. It's gonna happen. Well, it seems inevitable that they will be apart on the, what is it, the 4th of December? Yeah, the 4th of December. And well, I've always said that one of the great things about the Sussexes is that whether they're together or apart, nobody ever feels shortchanged. You know what I mean? Nobody feels shortchanged. Although they would prefer that they both show up. Sometimes it's just not possible. And Petal said something so brilliant earlier. She was saying that the Sussexes got bills to pay, and Harry's attendance on the 4th is likely a paid appearance. And, they got cheering to raise and bills to pay, and they got a mortgage and that kind of stuff. And, well, we all know that Harry is very hardworking. For someone who was born a prince of the blood, I would say he's probably the hardest working royal um, in that family. The hardest working. I know they always say that Charles works so hard, but Charles has spent a lifetime being where he wants to be and when he wants to be there. Um, Even making allowances for his age, I don't know how hard he's ever worked. It's hard to qualify. And no, it's difficult to qualify what most of the people in their family do as work. So, um, there you have it. All right, so let's move on. Isn't that map adorable? I did that. Well, I found it and kind of just stuck it back there just to drive the point. Harry will be in New York City, and the Duchess of Sussex will be at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel for Tyler Perry's awards. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I would love to see them together, but it's just not meant to be. But um, they probably have looked at things and decided, this is impossible for us to be together. You need to go and do that event, and I'll hold this one down. So it just is what it is. Being a latchkey kid myself coming up, is one of the sacrifices that you have to make. This is why I always say about being an American, I will never let anyone take this country away from me. They love to treat non white people in this country as though they're an inconvenience or they're not supposed to be here, go back to Africa and all that kind of stuff. No, no, no. It may have been some pretty menial work, and by some people's standards, it may have been just the working class American type of upbringing. But I'm very proud of my parents' contribution to building this country, and my grandparents, of course, and my grandparents before them, great grandparents. I'm very proud of their contribution. Um, when the Great Migration happened, they came to the north and scratched out a very comfortable living for themselves and for their families. So I will always be grateful and very proud for that. So nobody's going to take that experience away from me. Okay. Uh Church Nelly, who's at the saloon right now? If you're here, if you're here, who, pray tell, is minding the store? You know you can't be too careful nowadays. It's hard to find good help. You know what I'm saying? They say good help is hard to find. So if you're here, who is at the world renowned and also rated by SWAT? Who's at the menopausal moonshine minis? Who? Who's minding the store? If you're here, then that means that the store is probably being overrun with riffraff. So I'm just saying, I don't want to make you nervous or anything. Surely there's going to be a group of sailors or someone from the coal mines or something just got paid. uh, Lex says, my family came up from the South during the second Great Migration. My grandparents were both in the South. We used to see our cousins early during the summer. Oh my goodness, you were one of those people that I was so jealous of. I didn't have that experience as a youth of going down south, but most of the other kids that I grew up with, they all talked about going down south. And I'm just like, I asked my parents, I'm like, how come we don't ever go down south? We just didn't go once they left. Now, there's a story behind that. And I can't tell the story in mixed company. But let me put it to you like this. Uh, they didn't have those, what do you call it? Those shows back in the day where they would solve things. They didn't have that back then, not like that. So I'm just afraid that my family, I'm just afraid my family couldn't go back to the South. Okay. I don't think it was so much they just didn't want to, they couldn't. Once they got run out of town, that was it. There was no return. So yeah, that probably explains that. I don't think they could go back, but there's certain counties where I could not tell them. I'd have to use an assumed name. Okay, okay. I think we're satisfied with that. Okay. Yep, I tell you, life wasn't as dull as they made it out to be. Sipping some mint juleps and sitting under the old magnolia tree and um belting out some old Negro spiritual. No, it's not that simple for some people. Some of them left and they couldn't go back if they wanted to. If there's some land down there, better let the county claim it. Oh boy. Anyway, that being said, that being said, I remember one time when I was about knee high to a cricket, and I started hearing names that I had never heard before. Names. Back in those days, it was very informal. If you wanted another name, you just picked one. You know what I mean? If you wanted another name, you just picked one. It was back in the day. I'm just like, oh, that's who we are. I didn't know that. uh, okay, let's move on. Um, Harry's going back to court. Or should I say, there's another court. I did not know that there was a thing with the fail. I thought we were just, you know what? I cannot keep up with these cases, but I support Harry's um, desire to bring these people to justice. I do. I support them, um, or support him rather. Prince Harry's phone hacking lawsuit against Daily Mail to go to trial in 2026. Prince Harry and other high profile British figures' privacy lawsuits against the Daily Mail newspapers publishers will go to trial in early 2026. London High Court heard on Tuesday, with the parties' legal costs set to exceed £38 million or $47.8 million. Yeah, Harry better go to New York. I think he better go to New York. I I'd like to see this thing put to bed. I want him to see it through in whatever form of fashion necessary. And if it's high cost to it, I guess we're gonna have to. I mean, there's there's a place where we can all go to raise some money. I'd be willing to pitch in if I have to. If we have to raise some money for the Sussexes, we'll make money the old fashioned way. We'll earn it. Right, menopausal moonshine Minnie? You know what I'm saying? Making allowances for wear and tear. I'm not so bad. We'll have to make some money however we have to make some money. We'll turn to the world's oldest profession if necessary, but we're gonna make sure that we see this case through. So, like I say, uh, I'd take to the stage if I have to, or whatever. But we'll get the money. So Harry, the younger son of King Charles, is one of seven claimants suing Associated Newspapers over allegations of voicemail interception, commonly known as phone hacking, and the other serious privacy breaches dating back 30 years. Associated with also publishes, well, Associated Press, Associated, which also publishes the Mail on Sunday, has always denied involvement in unlawful practices. Its lawyers said in filings for a preliminary hearing on Tuesday that the claimant's allegations were firmly denied. So, all I can say is give him hell, Harry. Give him hell. All right, let's move on. So here's a couple of throwback photos. Well, actually, the one on the right is a throwback. I didn't want to share her name because at the last minute I thought, oh my goodness, the derangers, they'll start inboxing her. So I did not share her name, but she She's a community organizer of some sort, and I think she works with not for profits. The lady on the right, and the one on the left, that was from the visit, obviously from Meghan's outfit, the visit to the dinner that was thrown for the women from Afghanistan. So that is an extra photo that is making the rounds that was not with the group of photos that most of us saw the other day. So just sharing these. Now, the one on the right, I don't recognize that outfit at all, which just goes to show that our Duchess is, oh, thank you, Mary H. Thank you for for being willing to hold up your end. I appreciate that. Um, I gotta stop. I'm getting the giggles. Um, oh man. Let me stop. My side is starting to hurt. So, what was I saying? Oh, I forgot. But yeah, so that photo has been making around, and I don't recognize the outfit. I don't know what that occasion was. I cannot think of it. I mean, I'm looking and it seems familiar. And the lady didn't actually have this posted on the usual social media, and I'm not going to say which one, but it wasn't on the usual social media. But leave it to the Sussex squad to find the most obscure images of our Duchess. I don't know how they do it. Sometimes they find stuff that I look at the source where it came from. I'm just like, and you just happen to be on that page? So let me see. I'm looking to see if anybody recognizes that location. Anybody? No? No? Uh, okay. Don't recognize the outfit and certainly don't recognize the location. So, hmm. But yeah, she looks so young there, right? Let me see. Okay. Nobody. Okay, Jose Williams, thank you so much for visiting with us. Uh, huh. Nobody, right? All right. I don't know where it comes from then. I wish I could figure it out. Hi, Violet Maxwell. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Gosh, I hope there's no kids listening to us. Church Nelly always gets me started. Okay, so I shared this with you all yesterday. Um, that little pain in the neck, Richard Eden, has managed to whip up a whole bunch of nonsense about how the Queen felt about Meghan. I am very uncomfortable with the idea of saying what someone thinks of another person, especially if that someone is deceased, you know? I mean, Richard Eden, if he wants to know what the Queen thinks, as close as he can get at this point is to go to that storm shelter over at the St. George Chapel. Barring that, or perhaps having access to her diary, right? And I doubt very much if Richard Eden has poked his nosy face in the Queen's diary. So who knows what the Queen thought about Meghan? But I shared the photo on the left side just so that we can see that rather solemn look that the queen has is very typical for the queen during those state occasions. You see that? Take a look up close. She looks even more menacing looking at Eugenie than she is at Meghan. That's just her way. That's just her way. And it is it's really sad and disturbing that for the sake of clicks and such, that they would use the queen. I mean, the queen has said more dead than she said in the last few years before she died. After she died, the queen said all kind of stuff. I don't have anything. I don't even own the paintings. And now they took my name. Remember that meltdown? I don't even have a name. They've took it. They've taken everything. How much does the queen talk from the great beyond? You know, the only conversation that the queen has had that I can trust is when Sean communicates with the queen, right? 1992, you know, those conversations, but anything else, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now take a look, and you know what? You said that at just the right time. You said that at just the right time. How did the queen look at Kate? This is the queen at the Cambridge wedding. That is Philip at the Cambridge wedding. Okay. Now, one of the squatties sent this to me the other day, and I didn't get the reference because they didn't mention exactly where it came from. But then finally, I sorted it out, and I'm like, oh, that was the Cambridge wedding. So if you were the one that sent me this the other day, thank you very, very much. Um, but yeah, this is the queen at the Cambridge wedding. So even though we don't have one of those looks like we just saw a minute ago, the general atmosphere looks very tense. I mean, the queen looks thrilled to have that dum dum marrying into the family, that lazy person who refused to get a job even when the queen put the word out there on those streets that she needs to work. She needs to have some kind of a career before she marries into this family. You know, they say so much about what the queen knew about Meghan. What they really should try to figure out is how did they not mention what the queen, well, they did mention it. Let me take that back. They did mention it. They did. They just don't talk about it anymore. But the queen was on to that family from the beginning, the Middletons. And I don't think she approved. I do not believe that she approved. I shared with you yesterday some of the glaring looks that the queen often gave to Kate, especially when she was dressed up like she was a flight attendant from some Eastern European airline that went out of business when the Berlin Wall fell. Yeah. The Iron Curtain Air, looking like a flight attendant from Iron Curtain Air. So they don't talk about that. Now, I told you all that I was kind of disappointed when the queen went past that place where I was standing right there at the Buckingham Palace, right? I'm there with the crowd of people for Trooping the Colors. Do you see the look on the queen's face? There are people cheering and waving and smiling. And what do we get from her? Nothing. Now, I know the majority of the people that have had their minds infected with that hate from Richard Eden won't hear this side of things, but I still know better. I've seen the queen up close, and she does not deviate. She does not look interested in the least bit. Okay. I can see your true color shining through. Okay, let me see. I'm going to share this with you. Let's see. I hope I am. Is this the right one? Okay, so there you have it. That is a video that I made myself of the queen going past the crowd. So after flying maybe, I don't know, 3,000 miles and staying at hostels and cheap hotels, that was the best she could do. I tell you, she really didn't put on airs for anybody, did she? So, what could I say? That's the queen. Very stoic, very solemn and somber. You heard the crowd screaming and waving and everything. What did she do? Nothing. Not a thing. So there you go. Of course, you know what? And for some reason, I took photos of Harry and Meghan, but I did not videotape them. But I did take photos. So this was Meghan's first appearance at the Troop in the Color, and this was like probably 2 or 3 weeks after the marriage, after the wedding. So yeah, that's the Victoria Memorial on the other side there. Yeah, that was my first time seeing the Queen, my only time seeing the Queen. And she looked about as thrilled as someone going in for a root canal, right? She looked like she was on her way to get a root canal. That's how excited she was on her unofficial birthday celebration in her Royal Ascot carriage, her Ascot Landau carriage. Huh. Big fat nothing burger, wasn't it? People tried to cheer her and try to get her attention and everything. She didn't even wave. She didn't even bother to wave. That's right, gangster. Church Nelly, I am attempting to clean this up after um earlier, so I am attempting to clean this up. But I can't do it myself. What is that they say? You cannot fight this battle alone. So, there we go. I'm sorry, I dropped something, but I found it. Yes, we cannot fight this battle alone. Okay, so check it out. Prince William's new photos in military gear and rugged beard have fans buzzing. You know, I don't know who wrote that article. I honestly don't know, but let me go back and take a look because I got a feeling that I know who wrote it. You all know who wrote it too. Um, Let me see. I think we all know who wrote it. That screams Rebecca English. That just screams Rebecca English. Anyway, I don't even need to look. I know that that's Rebecca English. I do believe that Charles, among other people in the institution, but Charles and some of the courtiers, they probably want Rebecca English to stay in close proximity to William to make sure that she can kind of, jazz up his position with. I'm sorry, I'm a bit distracted. I was looking for the article. Okay, I don't need to see it, but to try to elevate his stature as much as she can. Instead, Lydia says, talk about holding Prince Harry and shaving him. Prince William needs to be removed, needs to remove that scruffy beard. Yeah, he looks a bit disheveled. He does. He looks a bit disheveled. So, and I'm being petty. That's why his photos are so small. I'm being very petty. Now, I did notice something though. They had a picture of William walking through a field of grain. Are we is this something, permanent? Every time they need people to think of them as being deep and thought provoking, are we going to walk through a field of grain or tall grass every time we want people to think that we're um I don't know, pondering the meaning of life, or is that what we're doing? Because I know Kate it was required for her to walk through a field of grain with that weird look on her face when they made that herbal essence video. And now William's doing it. Is it the same film crew? Is that what's going on? Did we bring the same film crew? I could not help but notice how similar it is. Weird look on the face. At least Kate is doing some of the worst acting I've ever seen. Notice how she's trying not to laugh and she's trying not to look at the camera. She smiles a lot. She smiles like she's heavily medicated. I'm not saying she is, but I'm saying she smiles like she's heavily medicated. She has a very institutional smile. And as for William, he tends to kind of leer and glare at people. But yeah, I think this was quite contrived and deliberate. Connie Balmer! Hey, Connie Balmer. Okay. Now, I was wondering though, um, how come William didn't wear his Lululemon yoga pants? Because that's what Kate did when she did some maneuvers with the military. Remember that when she went out there in them Lululemon yoga pants? Never mind all of these young men, um, you know, downwind from this weird look she had that day. And I promise you guys, Kate only did this because William did not take her to Singapore. And this is supposed to be her dragging all the cameras and the attention back her way. People barely noticed. People barely noticed somebody's mom out there in yoga pants, looking a bit weird. Also, notice her hair. Is that the kind of hair that you wear when you're invited to do some military maneuvers? You wear yoga pants, right? Camo jacket, camouflage, and you're wearing your hair down like you're, I don't know, at a pub with your good girlfriends. So disrespectful, very demeaning and disrespectful. This would have never happened if Queen Elizabeth was still alive. Now, take a look at Lenora. Princess Lenora of Spain, 17, carries a rifle and swims in her army kit as she takes on training at military academy. She gets it. She gets it. Now she only weighs about a buck and a quarter, little tiny thing, tall, but she gets it. Notice she doesn't have that stupid grin on her face. She's not smiling and laughing and giggling and all that kind of stuff. She's serious about what she's doing. She's going to be the first queen of Spain in I don't know how long. Has Spain ever had a queen before? But she's going to be the queen of Spain. And she's taken her role very serious, which is more than you could say for some people with all of their privilege and protection. And then take a look at Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden as she undergoes intense military training. Do you see her laughing and joking and wearing Lululemon yoga pants? No, she's serious. She's absolutely serious. And I want you to notice their hair. Do you see any of those young? I mean, how disrespectful would that be to show up with your hair down and yoga pants? You see what I'm saying? How disrespectful would that be to show up with some yoga pants and your hair extensions all over the place? No, they didn't do that. They came properly Peter Pan, huh? They came properly prepared. You have to admire that about them. So I know that the tabloids are trying to gaslight us. Britain's secret weapon, Major Middle Bomb. If you say so, if the future of Britain's security or military superiority um, hinges on Kate Middleton's uh, skills as a soldier, y'all might as well just give up. Y'all might as well just give up. Just tell Russia, listen, let bygones be bygones. Let bygones be bygones. We didn't mean any of that stuff we said. Let's just try to get along. Because that secret weapon right there, that's the kind of stuff that'll have you come up missing. That'll have you come up missing. You'll get drawn and quartered with that type of security. So, yeah. Now, Queen Camilla, the Wicked Stepmother review. What is the point of this dull rubbish? Well, as you guys know, from time to time, I like to see who wrote the article. In this case, it's Lucy Mangan. And this is the very end of the article. I just cannot tell you who this program is for, why anyone thought it was necessary, and what is it doing on Channel 4 in particular. But it happens a lot. Sweeping and cutting room floors and putting scraps of things together to make a new program. that is as old as time. I guess is cheap, but does cheap always have to be dull and pointless and always about the royals or aristocrats and always about stuff that has only just happened to them, stuff we all remember because it happened almost literally yesterday? That time has neither obscured or yet lent an air of mystery to. I mean, what really is the point? Why are we asking this question now, Lucy? Why don't we ask this question with all of the hundreds of documentaries and news programs, the round the clock coverage? How come she's not asking questions about why is Harry and Meghan responsible for everything from avocados to you name it, you name it? They always have to. She's not asking those questions, but she gave this program 2 stars. Now, I will admit the program was pretty crappy. It did not seem to have a point. I agree with that. However, what little movement there was, what little truth there was heavily edited and suppressed. By the time the palace is done putting pressure on these news programs, you don't have much left. And of course, my very cynical mind wonders, is this why the chest infection? So that it would seem as though you were attacking a seriously ill pensioner? Is that why the chest infections? Oh, if I were you, I would kind of soften that program. After all, the queen consort has a chest infection. It don't look good. See what I'm saying? That's what my cynical mind is thinking. My logical mind says, no, they did the best they could. There was no input from the palace or anybody else for that matter. Channel 4 is not afraid of anyone. But we've seen that before. The same way she says we've seen this before, a pointless documentary, we've also seen the palace exude pressure upon the producers and the editors and such, whoever the storytellers are. These filmmakers go through hell and lots of threats. They go through a lot of threats from that institution. And that's the best way to ruin a perfectly good documentary, is to let them get a hold of it. Lex says, does this cosplaying cost money, spend more, or what is that? Money, I guess. Spend more money, I guess. Yeah, because of the security and the transportation. Absolutely. Absolutely. That cosplaying is expensive because William has to bring a camera crew. William has to pay a camera crew. And where does his money come from? The Duchy of Cornwall. You know, that money that they didn't have for Meghan, it seems like they have plenty money to hire camera crews, Charles included. Now, take a look at this. This is the same person. Prince William, We Can End Homelessness review, is a royal really the right person for this job? Now, you would think that she would launch a scathing attack or a scathing critique for this program that most people rejected. No, nothing could be further from the truth. His desire to tackle this issue is impressive right there out the gate. But his plan to eradicate rough sleeping is worryingly hard to understand. let's hope it works. She's not saying it won't work. She's like being very optimistic. Let's hope it works. She's a cheerleader for this guy. And also, this is the very end of that article, just like the other one. That was the end of it. This is the end. Prince William seems to grasp the complexity of homelessness and be keen to dismantle people's assumptions and judgment. You mean to tell me the only thing that are keeping people homeless are assumptions and judgments? If you ask me, she's the one that's lacking judgment by even saying that. Best of all, he seems, from a glimpses we get of them, to be surrounding himself with good, experienced people, and not be intimidated by them or their greater knowledge. Oh my God, I'm gonna barf. I'm about to hurl. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm about to soak this computer. So let's let him just start. The question of who will, if he doesn't, though, should occupy us still. So look at how generous that she is about this particular thing. It is ridiculous that one of the wealthiest people in the country is not going to build housing, is not going to pay for other people's housing. He's not going to do any of that. What he's doing is changing the narrative. He's changing the conversation. Why is she so optimistic? I think I understand. She's a royalist and she's towing the party line, even though she writes for The Guardian, who can sometimes be very, you know, logical, be very meaningful, and deliberately question authority, bringing truth to the very powerful. But in this instance, she totally drops the ball. I mean, if I didn't know better, I would say she has a crush on him. There, there was absolutely no um, logical person being a cheerleader for this. Only the Royal Rhoda and other sycophants like this person. I mean, when you go to those articles, you just click on their name and you can go back and see past articles they've written. And it tells you everything you need to know. I had some other examples, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to just list them one after one. You get the point. Uh, two stars, 2 stars for Queen Camilla, the wicked stepmother, and 3 stars for Willie Leaks. Now, even though her words were very optimistic, she didn't want to completely damage her reputation by giving it 4 stars or even worse, 5 stars. But she is a media critic. And as a media critic, I would just assume that she would go and pick apart some of these nonsensical programs, right? That go after Harry and Meghan day after day with absolutely no substance, no purpose, no meaning. But she doesn't. She's uplifting the slumlord, which, by the way, was not mentioned in this article. To show you what her credibility is, she didn't mention anything about the housing crisis, the one-man housing crisis, William the slumlord, or how about the other man housing crisis, Charles the slumlord? She didn't mention that. She did not call into question his credibility as the Prince of Wales and someone who's trying to advocate to change the language surrounding homelessness. How disingenuous. I'm telling you guys, you need only look at some of their stuff and you can see exactly where they're coming from. And in The Guardian, just as she's asking the question, it shouldn't have been on Channel 4. You should not be in The Guardian writing this crap. Why are you here? Why are you here? Who are you helping? Certainly not the homeless. Whatever the help is, whatever the answers are, I would be more than willing to guarantee you it won't come from William. He's not intimidated by those people. Why should he be intimidated? They work for him. These people work for him. He's bringing people on board to advise, right? And they work for him. So how much trouble could your employee cause you? What do you take me for? A little nail from the country? How stupid am I? Well, let's get this asshole out the way. I was kept wondering, who is A.N. Wilson? I know I've looked him up before, but I forgot. Another right-wing royalist sycophant. Harry's accusations have unfairly vilified Camilla. No, they haven't. I don't think he said enough. But it's him that's the outcast says eminent royal expert A.N. Wilson. Why is he an outcast? Because of Camilla. Plain and simple. The real trouble started when Camilla began to manipulate Princess Diana, Lady Diana. That's when it started. And it continued to this till this very day. It has been nonstop manipulation. If you're going to call into question the documentary, why didn't this person ask, why is Camilla's friends speaking out on her behalf? And this guy knows better as well, but he's not going to ask those questions. Revisionist history. First, they want to suppress the truth, as Harry is telling the truth and others. And then, of course, their second task is to reimagine, to rewrite the history of it. I am still convinced that they are trying to build a legacy for Camilla. And Harry's book was a serious roadblock to that legacy. It's very hard, even with this army of reporters and writers, it's very difficult for them to get away with this because Spare was the best-selling nonfiction in history, is the best-selling nonfiction. A lot of people have read Spare. So it makes this goal to change once and for all Camilla's reputation into this doting grandmother of the nation. She's never going to be Queen Elizabeth. That's not going to happen. But that's not going to stop them from trying. They're still trying. They want to convince people that Camilla was just misunderstood and she did the best that she could do under the circumstances. And I love when they say, She's always been very quiet and dignified. She's never responded to her critics. Oh, she has responded by unleashing the tabloid media, the likes of which she's friends with all of them. We weren't supposed to know about that Christmas party. They swore up and down that there was no Christmas party for the Royal Rota. But we know that that's not true. There is a Christmas party. These people dine with them, they stay overnight on occasion. And this guy is just okay. He had that one critical column about the royal family. Remember that one? William gets booze, William gets this and that and the other. So he had that one column. This makes up for it, doesn't it? This balances everything out. And then, of course, there's the magazines and newspapers that they cannot control, like In Touch. After 9 months of treatment and protecting her children, Kate's divorce agony. I don't know that that's untrue. 72 million for a man in a hat to sit in a chair. Now that is the Star, which is an American tabloid. They don't seem to have much power when it comes to Star magazine. Star, Globe, Inquirer. There's the ones who said that Charles is on his way out. They're the ones that keep speaking about the divorces. They speak about alcoholism and all types of things. They'll put it on their front page. So thank God for that. That's all I could say is a little oppositional research goes a long way. And Us magazine, rivalry and royal duty inside the power struggle. Well, that's news to me. Now, um, what's her name? Celibici wrote about that earlier. Um, complex compilation. Oh no, competition is it? Is unfolding between the father and son as they navigate whispers of change and William's inevitable succession. Will he outshine Charles? Well, I tell you what we do know. When William went to South Africa, he humiliated his father, didn't he? He absolutely humiliated his father by saying, when I'm king, I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to modernize things. He went to that one dinner where he was supposed to dress up in the Order of the Garter. He wore long pants instead of wearing those breeches they're supposed to wear. He's hasn't been seen in a kilt in Scotland since he was a child, since he was a kid. Um, Charles has warned them. Philip have warned them. William, the next king, refuses to do it. And don't think that that has escaped their notice in Scotland, because it has not. His relationship with Wales is pretty sour. So, cheers to Us Magazine for being willing to write about it. Zandy Sussex says the Rangers, who earn a living off of manufacturing lies about Harry and Meghan, are up in arms because three magazines have dared to write stories that are not fawning of the Waleses. Don't start a fire and then cry when you get burnt, I say. And there you have it. In Touch, Us, and the Star. They all have gone a completely different direction from the rest of the tabloids, from the British tabloids. Now, I don't read any of those because I think you need a subscription. But thank God for them. I'm glad to see that there's an opposite point of view. Now, thank you, Sussex Squad Detective Agency. And of course, we keep receipts. SK says, we've been new. I guess that's what I mean. We've been new. Cammy can't stand Kate. She wants Rose so bad. I think we all know what Rose they're talking about, which is interesting because it seems as though Camilla went out of her way to welcome Rose a while ago, and there was even a an article about it, and that was while Kate was away on business or whatever she was doing. But they went out of their way to write a story about Camilla and Rose. I don't think that was an accident. And I do believe that the relationship between Kate and Camilla is quite strained. Camilla did not want anyone wearing a tiara at the coronation. And I don't know if you all know this, but traditionally with the coronation, if a woman has a tiara, you wear it. When it comes to the coronation, all of those people in service and volunteers and stuff, they were not supposed to be inside of Westminster Abbey. That was supposed to have been filled with the upper tier of the aristocracy. And then once Charles has taken the oath and everything, then they don their, you know, crowns. They have those little cheap metal crowns that they have just for that occasion. They wear the robes with the ermine and everything, just like any other member of the family. And Charles did not want that. And Camilla did not want anybody else wearing a tiara or a crown. It was forbidden. So Kate shows up wearing that crystal headpiece that looks just like a tiara. The only thing that was missing is the fact that it was made out of crystals rather than actual precious or semi-precious jewels. And they were late. I don't think that that would have escaped their notice, especially since Charles was sitting outside cussing about it. So, yeah, I do think there's some bad blood between the two households. I really, really do. Queen Camilla doesn't want to pass her duties on to Kate Middleton due to the tense relationship. And that was an article from what? Yesterday. Or no, well, yesterday, today. Right here, a royal source that is, reveals reason for Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton's shockingly tense relationship. Y'all, they don't get along. They do not get along. And in spite of all of the stuff that they have been saying, just like Camilla was trolling Kate and William at the hospital, they would not film anybody at that hospital except for Charles and Camilla because I don't believe Kate was there in the first place. And I don't believe William was there to see her. It was all very made up. And I do believe that Camilla was trying to tell people by running in and out of the hospital several times a day, even with costume changes. And there has been no explanation for that. None. But Camilla has been trolling them. Why Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton have a tense relationship? Camilla isn't quite ready for the Princess of Wales to become queen. Well, of course she's not ready. That means she would be dead, right? Uh Royal source reveals reason for Queen Camilla and Kate Middleton's shockingly tense relationship. Whatever. Whatever. Yes, the Royal Garden Show. All of the cameras were focused on Kate, who wasn't even supposed to be there. She wasn't even supposed to be there. It was Charles and Camilla, and they were making their fashionable entrance to the event, only to find out that Kate was there first. And not only that, but they brought in a busload of children, mostly black children. They brought in a busload of children. So, this is going to get very, very interesting. Oh, do I have the Minister of Hacks? Ministry of Hacks? Yes, I do. You know, I love me some Ministry of Hacks. Morning. Morning. Oh, this is so juicy. I love it. This is so juicy. Let me see. And as far as I'm concerned, they're all getting what they got coming.
Master Puppeteer strikes again. If you read this headline, you might feel that Kate is being included in this Qatari royal visit. But this headline and these ancient photos are absolutely deceiving, because Kate will be on hand in the welcome party, but she will not be attending any of the daytime events, and she certainly will not be attending the glitzy, diamond encrusted, swanky dinner. What is happening here, guys? And as ever, comments are open. I would love your opinion. Is the master puppeteer, Camilla, pushing Kate out while she welcomes somebody else in? It's almost like a Shakespearean drama, isn't it, to be honest? Has Camilla got a bigger plan that does not involve Kate? That is my suspicion. My hopes for Kate is that she is well mentally and physically. We don't really know what happened to her, but I want her to be well. Do I want her to escape this family? Probably. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Comments are open. The Shakespearean tragedy is about to play out. The master puppeteer.
Okay. So listen. I think I get what Ministry of Hacks is saying. As I just said, Camilla was entertaining Rose at whatever that event was, right? Now they've taken Rose off the radar. Nobody will write about her. Nobody will even reference her. It's like she's totally gone, out of sight, out of mind. And of course, William, or should I say William Parker Bowles, seems to be beholden to his stepmother, the puppeteer. If anybody could make someone who never was supposed to be queen, is Camilla. Do you understand what I'm saying? If anybody knows firsthand how to take a non-queen and turn them into a queen, have them go to Westminster Abbey and all that kind of stuff, who has firsthand knowledge of how to do the impossible? Camilla. And so if you're William and you want something different, and this is all hypothetical, let's say you want a different future, one that does not include this one, but includes that one, who better suited to help orchestrate said plan than Camilla, the puppeteer? Lex says PR deflect from dispatches, take down Kate, and then Harry and Meghan. Here, here. Here, here. It does seem to be going in that order. Thank you so much for the super chat. It does appear to be going in that order. It is, and of course, that documentary is bringing too much attention to Camilla's way of doing things, right? It's bringing too much attention. And that's why it was necessary to get all of the soldiers out there and have them cover the airways with doubts about the documentary, questioning why was it even necessary, who does it serve, all of that stuff. That was done for a reason. So, yes, I know it's a bit far-fetched, but oh, if it's true. Oh, if it's true. And then there's this. The Murdoch, New York Post, etc., knows that the derangers only read the the titles, so they always put their lies in the title. And it's disgusting to see people who want to see a couple separated that they don't know, who have done nothing to them. And of course, they're talking about the New York Post. Meghan releases a statement after solo Thanksgiving. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. It's not accurate. I'll just say that. It's not even accurate. You dig into the article, which I have not, but I actually read some comments about it, not only from Sussex Soldier, but from others, saying the same thing. You all know that most people are going to look at the headline and assume the worst when that's not what it means. That is not what it means. So everything Harry and Meghan are doing is very deliberate and it's for a good reason. And so far, I cannot think of anything that they've done aside from working more often than not. But I can't think of anything that they have done that you have not seen in other parts of that family. Charles goes to functions alone. William goes to functions alone. There's no reason why he has to do these things alone, but he chooses to. There's a reason for everything, but it doesn't have to necessarily be something negative or nefarious or something like that. No, there's a reason for everything. And every time they bring up these scenarios, the one thing that they love to omit from the story are the children. In their world, there are no children. There are no children. Anytime they mention Harry going back to Montecito or whatever, they only mentioned it for the coronation because it was Archie's birthday. They will speak with so much authority about what's happening with the Sussexes, what a person close to a source said, and all that stuff. And we all know that it's not true. They don't have any inside information. There are no leaks in Montecito. So, no bueno. No bueno. And of course, if you take a look there, sorry, Camilla, ex smokers are more prone to infections. But from singing to eating spinach, there are ways you can keep problems at bay. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. That's nice as a little filler to give people something to read, but um I'm even willing to think, considering what her son was accused of, I'm willing to believe that tobacco is not her worst offense. Okay, just think about what her son was accused of, and where did they write the article about that? The New York Post, of all places. They wouldn't put it in the tabloids over there. They put it in the tabloid over here, the New York Post. I invite you all to find that article and read it. It is quite illuminating. Tom Parker Bowles was the life of the party. As a matter of fact, he supplied a lot of the entertainment for the party. And in that article, it mentions how Tom Parker Bowles was very close to William. Not Harry, William. And at the time, let me see if I got the ages right. I believe William was, what, 16, 17, and Tom Parker Bowles was 24. But yet they were best of friends, according to that article from the New York Post. Scathing article saying stuff that they would not say in the UK. Yeah, that was some years ago. And supposedly, her son has cleaned up his act. Supposedly. But I'm telling you, he would give Uncle Gary a run for his money. Yeah, he's like a better connected Uncle Gary. Now, on a lighter note, what do you think of these portraits? Aren't they beautiful? Now, these are Annie Leibovitz. And of course, she tends to like to have the colors somewhat muted. And she likes to, use a dark room or space or sky as a backdrop. Very dramatic. Very dramatic. It is kind of like an old world painting, um, on film. And I think these are gorgeous. Where she gets in trouble is whenever she photographs black people, they always look like they was on the Underground Railroad with Harriet. And I'm not being funny, it's true. They always look like like their stop for the Underground Railroad just came up. That's what they look like. So she is very talented, but and I'm speaking of Annie Leibovitz, she really should not photograph black people. They don't, her photos of black people do not inspire much. And I'm not accusing her of anything. I'm just saying what I think is a fact, that her photos of black people do not inspire much. But these are beautiful. I rather like them. And just so you can see a better close up, see there? See how she's taken all of her color away? It looks very flat. But that is signature Annie Leibovitz. There's not enough gold tone, right? I tend to think that the more regal images would have more gold tones to it. Not much at all. And that's very stately. But I'm loving the outfit that the Queen is wearing, Letizia of Spain, and Philippe. Juan, is it Juan Philippe or just Philippe? He looks very dashing and handsome. Hmm? Hmm. Okay. Nothing, you guys? Y'all are so quiet tonight. Now I cannot play the video. I probably could, but it's got the music. You know what I'm saying? It's got Dolly Parton 9 to 5. But take a look at the back scenes at the hippie, what is it? Hippie something. Highbrow hippie. It looks like they're having so much fun. I wouldn't mind working with them. Now you can see success. That is what success looks like. And if it's not success, they're on their way. For certain, they're on their way. Let's see. Highbrow hippie. Well, wow. It's been officially 10 days since we launched Highbrow hippie hair care and wellness. And to be honest, we don't even know where to start. First and foremost, thank you to everyone, not only for your orders, but for your patience. When not with clients at the atelier, our small and mighty team has been working around the clock to fulfill orders as fast as we can. Oh, that's so sweet. But yeah, they're handling their business. And how much was it? I forgot what the price was, but I tell you, if it's gonna work, if it's gonna help, I mean, not everybody's gonna have Meghan hair or, you know, whoever else, but it must be something to it because people swear by it. Okay. And never be cool. Never try to be cool. Never worry about what the cool people think. Head for warm people. Life is warmth. You'll be cool when you're dead. Matt Haig. Okay, well, that's one way to look at it. Stop trying to be cool. You're going to be cool one day. And when that happens, well, you won't have to worry about anything. So, interesting wording. Now, I'm going to close tonight with, oh gosh, what is his name? Tallarico. This is something that a lot of people probably need to hear and didn't even know they needed to hear it. So let me say goodnight in advance before I play this. Also, thank you guys for supporting Royal Sussex. And also, thank you to the moderators for keeping this a safe space. And what could I say? Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. Donald Trump promises. Not ready yet. Okay.
Easier said than done.
Starting from the beginning.
Donald Trump promises to destroy his enemies, but Jesus calls us to love our enemies. We're all struggling with that right now. A lot of us are starting to see some of our neighbors as enemies. Some of us are worried about seeing certain family members at Thanksgiving. Love doesn't mean papering over our disagreements or selling out our values or tolerating abuse. True love doesn't ignore conflict. True love heals conflict. The people at the top, the Elon Musks, the Rupert Murdochs, the Donald Trumps of the world, spend so much energy, so much time keeping us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their power. It's the oldest strategy in the world, divide and conquer. And it's why love has always been a threat to the powers that be. Loving our neighbors allows us to listen to each other, learn from each other, and ultimately come together to take power back for ourselves and our communities. This is easier said than done, but it's the only way out. Don't give up on our neighbors. That's the work of democracy. That's the work of peace.